Somebody goes online and they're searching for a roofing company, right? They have a hole in their roof. They see that it's leaking and they are in need of a roofing company. So they go into Google, they type in roofing companies near me. Okay. Now, what you're going to see whenever they type that in is there going to be a couple different things. You're going to have Google guaranteed, you're going to have Google search ads, you're going to have map ads, and then you're going to have the organic rankings. Now, these are all bids for that person's attention. Now, depending on where you're ranked and depending on the keywords you're using, it'll cost money, or it will, or depending on your search ranking, it could be potentially free for that person to come to your website. The more people you get to come to your website, the more people are going to be knowing that you exist and giving you a call and becoming leads. Now, the better your website is at turning those customers into leads, the more money you will make. Now, let's go over this real quickly. Before we get into any of the steps, I want to show you the formula. Because if you understand the formula, all of the steps will seem to make sense. They all fit into this formula. And the formula is about generating as much revenue as possible. Right? As a business owner, the reason you want to invest into marketing is because you want a return on your investment. So this is the formula that we utilize, and I explain it as clearly as I possibly can to make it simple. Right? So let's just take it here from the top. We have the ad spend. This stands for how much money do we pay Google per month. Let's just, as an example, say $2,000. Right? Now, the cost per click, the CPC right here, that's how much it costs for one individual click. For one person to land on our website, this is how much it costs. In this case, a good example is $20, right? Now, that's a pretty high end, right? That's if you're probably using broad keywords and you're not super targeted, you could probably be spending $20 per click, which comes out to about 100 people. Now, a decent opt-in rate with a pretty good website. Now, if you have a really low design, if you have a really kind of a bad website, this number could be around 5%, could be around 2%. If you have a well-designed website, a decent website, I should say, maybe without a video even, let's say 20%. That's a good number. That's pretty decent. So you get 100 people on your website, 20% of them opt in and become leads. Okay. Now, let's say you have a closing ratio of roughly 50%. It could be a lot higher. It could be a lot lower. It just depends on your ability to sell and your salespeople's ability to sell. At 50%, you're talking 10 leads. Now, for me, I use my average revenue per sale as $500. That's about what we get for a power washing job. Right? So at 10 leads, $5,000. So we put in $2,000, we put out $5,000. Right? So those are okay numbers. Those are pretty good, but it could be a lot better. Let me show you how. Ideally, what we want to do is we want to increase this number right here. This is the number we want to increase. So what can we do? One, we can decrease the cost per click. So instead of it costing $20 a click, we can get it down to $10 a click. And we do that by using keyword research, funnel hacking our competitors, seeing exactly what they're targeting, look at exactly what our competitors are doing, and figure out ways of getting our brand in front of customers at a cheaper cost. Right? So that's the first thing. Step number 2, we can increase the opt-in rate. Now, there are many different things we can do to increase the opt-in rate, and I'm going to get into each of these things a little bit later on in the video. But if we do increase that opt-in rate from 20%, let's say to 30%, right? So now we got this down to $10 a click, so that's 200 people coming to the website, and we got this up to 30%. So that's going to be 60 leads, right? 60 people become leads. Then we close 50% of those. That becomes 30 sales at $500. That'd be about $15,000, right? So you can see how just tweaking a couple numbers, tweaking a couple spots in this formula generate more revenue. It's not a guessing game, guys. Marketing's not like it was a long time ago. It's not a guessing game. There's a reason Facebook and Google are worth billions of dollars, and it's because of this data, right? And if you can use the data to your advantage, if you're a savvy marketer, you can you can put it into a formula, you can tweak little things, and you can make as much money as you really want once you understand it. Right, so let's get right into it here. Step number 1, the most important part of the whole process, and it's kind of difficult for me to say one most important because they all play a role together. Like they're all pretty darn important. So take that with a grain of salt. I would say they're all like one, if I could give them all one. But just keep that in mind. A well-designed website that is built to convert. Now, when I say built to convert, what I mean by that is a website that's literally designed to get people to become leads. And there are actually a ton of different things you can do to just increase the odds a little bit. And let's say we're able to increase the odds of somebody becoming a lead from 10% all the way up to 40%. Well, that means we get 40% more leads for the same amount of traffic that we would have gotten previously. Right, so just a couple big things. Now, there are a lot of different things we can do to increase the opt-in rate, but some of the biggest things that we can do is 1, create video content like you're watching right now. 2, be very clear and concise about what we want the customer to do. What is the end result we are providing to the customer? What is the problem that they have that we have the solution to? Right? Be very clear and concise about that. 3, it needs to be mobile optimized. 70% of the traffic that I was getting to my website, and I still get to my website, is mobile devices. Only probably, I think it was like 3 to 5% was tablets, and then the rest was desktop. It needs to be mobile optimized. Number 4, it needs to be packed with keywords. The biggest advantage that your website will give you is your ability to rank organically in Google search, by far, right? And there are a bunch of different things we can do to get it to increase other than just packing it with keywords. But packing it with keywords basically means have a bunch of different pages that explain a bunch of different services that you offer in order to get people to become customers, right? How likely is it for somebody to, come across your website versus your competitors? And that's why packing it with keywords is so important. Step number 2 is your local listings. Now, these are things like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Angie's List, Google, the Google My Business listing. These are all places where your business can come up online, not including your website. Okay, now these are extremely powerful for many reasons. Well, one, there's over 70 of them, so it's 70 different places your website's going to be posted online. It increases your SEO ranking because you get more backlinks, and backlinks is just another thing you can do to increase your ranking as well as keywords, so that's just another little strategy to implement. It's also just another way that clients can actually find you. Now, I'll be the first to admit, we don't get a lot of customers for my power washing company. I'll probably say maybe 10% of our customers come from listings like this. But the fact of the matter is it still generates an ROI, so it still brings in money. So whether it's a huge profit or not a huge profit, it's still worth it in my eyes. But it also really increases your SEO, so that's where the real value is at. Step number 3. Now, this is one of those things why I think it should be number 1 as well, because it's so important. Let's say a customer, going into the mind of the customer here for a minute, let's say the customer needs a new roof, or they need a roof replacement or a repair or something because they notice that it's leaking. If they let it leak, then it's going to damage their whole house. They don't know how to get up on a roof and it's too dangerous. What are they going to do? 9 times out of 10, they're going to go into Google and they're going to type something like roof repair companies near me, roof repair estimates. How much does it cost to repair a roof? All of these different little keywords that person could type in. And each search term that they type in has a different value, right? So if we're targeting more and more of those that have a cheaper cost versus our competitors, we're able to get more clicks to our website at a cheaper price. So that's one way that we lower cost per click. But also just imagine putting your business in front of people that need your business. Like whatever value it is that you provide, you're putting your business in front of people who need that value, need that service. That's how simple Google is. Now, again, whenever we go to a Google search, let's say roofing companies near me, this is what's going to happen. Most of the times you're going to have a Google guaranteed as the very first thing that pops up. And these are all these different companies that are sponsored. You'll see it says sponsored. You can pay to get there, and I'll show you how. Step number 2, once you've scrolled past that, you're going to see the paid search results. So these are ads. This is where we put your company, so we get you there. Let's say we can get you 1 bid right there versus your competitors. Then we get another bid right here versus the competitors. All right, so once they've gone past the search ads, then they get to the Google Map listing. Now, the Google Map listing is one of the most important listings you could possibly have, right? And that's listed right there. Again, against your competitors. You can have an ad there, but if they're close enough within like a mile or 2 of you, you can also have an actual organic listing there as well. So you have organic and an ad. So there's 2 impressions. So, they just Googled this search term and they already have 4 impressions on you. Whereas your competitors are spending money, going and putting up lawn signs and spending money on radio. We're super targeting the people we know need the service, right? Okay. Again, targeting the best keywords, getting your brand in front of those people, and then sending them to a website, or more specifically, a landing page designed to convert them to a lead. Again, a landing page that has a video, loads very quickly, has testimonials on it. Again, there are a bunch of different things we can do to increase that opt-in rate in that formula, right? So instead of getting a 10%, we get a 20 or 30 or 40. SEO. Now, SEO goes hand in hand with the website. Hand in hand with the website. The whole reason you want a website, or in my opinion, there are many reasons, but the biggest reason is because of its ability to rank organically in search engines. Okay, so it's a great long-term strategy. It really is. Because let's say instead of having to pay Google $10 or $20 for a click, so instead of paying $2,000 for that formula, so earlier we were putting in $2,000 and it was spitting out $10,000. Let's say over time, 1 year from now, we're getting 100 clicks a month, And that, depending on your search area, that's pretty good number for SEO. You're getting 100 searches a month. You're getting 10% of them to convert into leads. So that's 10 extra sales a month for free. So that's just additional money right there at that point, right? At an average of $500, maybe you're an average of 2,000, whatever it may be. At an average of 500, that'd be an extra $5,000, right? And then the next year, you're ranking for even more keywords. So it's 120 searches, and you're increasing the opt-in rate as well. Plus, we get retargeting. Now, I don't want to get too technical and go in too deep here because we could be sitting here forever. But another very powerful thing you do with the website is you put a retargeting pixel. This allows you to show ads to people on social media and show up in their feed more, show up on YouTube. And that just builds brand recognition and makes them more familiar and more comfortable with your brand. So that's the purpose of that. Step 5 is social media. Social media, when it comes to, let's say, Google ads versus social media ads, if you had to pick one, I'm saying Google ads all day long. That's where our bread and butter has been when it comes to generating leads. But let's talk about the benefit of social media for a minute. It does a lot for you. Let's say with every customer that we get, we're able to turn that customer into 1 or 2 referrals. That's just a web that keeps growing and growing and growing. And social media gives you that power, right? It can build trust immediately because somebody sees that you, the contracting company, did work for their friend, and their friend wrote a good review about you. That's instant trust right there. Wrote a good review, boom. So that's another thing, and I'll get into the writing reviews and emails and that, everything like that in just a minute. Great for referrals, great social proof, great for brand awareness, because you can literally show ads to people who are on your website. We know we know they're interested in the service. Boom, they're seeing ads, right? They're seeing their friends and family, right? So we can do competitions. We can say, post your before and after pictures for a chance to win a free house wash next year, a free house washing for 5 years. All you're doing is 5 free house washes for the person who wins, and you're getting a ton of free publicity for your company. Like, that's amazing. A lot of before and after pictures are always very good too. There are a bunch of different things you can do with social media, but it's all about getting people to be familiar with your brand, getting them to know who you are, like your personality, and trust you as a company. That's what social media is really about, and that's what it's all about. Right? Now I want to go into the bonus step. Step number 6, this is email marketing. Now this is really something that glues it all together. Everything on this marketing strategy, they all kind of intertwine and they all help each other in some way, shape, or form. But email marketing is extremely, extremely valuable. Because going back to that formula, now I'm going to tie it all around here. Going back to that formula, when you pay, let's say, $2,000 and you get 100 leads, and you only closed 50. Well, those other 50, you do that over the course of a couple months. So 12 months have passed, right? Now, instead of having 100 people on that list, you have 1,200 people on that list. 50% purchased, 50% didn't. But what we know about the 50% is that they are interested. They were doing research. They may not be interested in buying right now, but they will be interested later on. So if we have them on our email address, or we have their email address, we can follow up with them in the future and make that sale later on. So it's valuable for that, but it's also extremely valuable because we can send out, as soon as we finish up, ask for reviews. And what happens is we send a link. The person says, we say, were you happy or were you unsatisfied? They have a thumbs up or thumbs down. If they hit a thumbs up, we ask them, great, which platform would you like to leave us a review on? And then they go leave a good review. And I'll get into those in just a minute. If they say thumbs down, we ask them what they didn't like and whatever we can do to improve the situation, right? So those are extremely powerful reasons right there. And I get into the reviews in just 1 minute. Step number 4 is it maximizes the lifetime value, right? If we sold this person a product now, we can sell them another product 2 months from now or 3 months from now. Maybe we did a roof and now they want their gutters done. And they're like, who do we know? They get into the buying mindset. They're like, who do we know that can do roofing? Well, the guy who did our roof, he said something about doing gutters, or his website says he does gutters. Maybe we should give him a call. Boom. I mean, that's how the mind really works. They remember you. And if we can constantly stay on their mind, that's what this allows us. Now, 5-star ratings. These are the most valuable asset to your company. They are the gold mine. They are a gold mine in digital marketing. A company with 5-star reviews will always beat a company with 3 stars, especially when it's right there in the map and it's listed. A company that has 5 stars will always win. Your cost per click will go way down. Every time somebody leaves a review, they're making a commitment to your brand. They're like, and then they'll remember you for that review, right? So again, that's a lifetime customer right there. And we can ask them for, a follow-up, or we ask them for a review in the follow-up. A lot of reviews, a lot of 5-star reviews creates a higher perceived value of your company. Let's say you have 95 5-star reviews or 4.7, right? So extremely high number of 5-star reviews, and then your competitor only has like a 3.5 and he's got 14 reviews. Like the perceived value for you over the competitors is through the roof. Plus, like I said, you get a cheaper cost per lead. So guys, that was the formula, and those are some of the biggest things. Everything tied together, kind of. That was kind of an oversimplification. Obviously, it goes pretty deep. If you would like to get this all done for you, if you are somebody who wants to dominate your local competition, go ahead and click that apply button somewhere on this page, and we can actually do all of this for you. It starts with the website. We build websites that are extremely in-depth. Keep in mind, we only work with contracting companies, so we kind of specialize in this field when it comes to creating websites packed with keywords that'll generate the most amount of leads. Now, we have to understand your company very, very well before we're able to get it up to extremely high peak level. So we need to have a phone call with you and kind of understand everything like that. But the website's the number one thing. We also do all the Google ads, the social media, and we tie it all together with the email marketing, as well as the review management and the listing management as well. So if you guys are interested in something like that, again, go ahead and click that apply button. We can schedule a phone call, and then we might be able to work together. Now, I want to show you guys a couple examples